sure many of us have had the situation or the experience of working in a group or in a committee, and an idea comes up, and it's discussed, and they say, "Oh yeah, we should definitely do this," or "We're going to assign this to this subcommittee, so it'll get done." And then what happens is that thing is never done.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like if something is assigned to a committee, it's assigned to no one, and no one ever does it.
Oh yeah.
This is an idea called bystander apathy. And it actually comes from, it's a very sad story, but very illustrative of, I don't remember what year this was, it was a while back, there was actually a murder that happened in New York City. And this was in Queens, Manhattan, I don't remember.
I think it was in Queens. And what's crazy about this story is the amount of time.
Yes.
Okay, so this woman gets out of her car, and this guy attacks her. And she screams so loud that like 30 or 40 lights in the surrounding apartment buildings come on. So
people notice.
So people notice. Nobody comes down. Now, maybe it's because this guy is armed and dangerous. We don't know. But people at least scream, "Get out of there, leave her alone." So the guy leaves. He notices that no one comes down to help her. So 10 minutes later, he comes back. So he injures her again. This time, I read it's actually in the lobby of her building. So now it's actually inside a building. Still, nobody has even called the police or come, because probably it's New York City. And I don't know, maybe they assume that somebody else has already done it, or that they have no power, or who knows why. He hears someone again and leaves. She's still alive. 25 minutes after the initial attack, he comes back and finally kills her. This is such a horrible story.
It is.
And then, people realize and whatever. But the whole point is, for 30 minutes, no one intercedes.
Yeah.
And for 3 different attacks. And so this was a major discussion and
a lot of soul searching.
A lot of soul searching and tons of papers.
Easily been prevented. And so the question was, why did this happen? Okay, why wasn't it prevented? Why wasn't it stopped? And what they found through a lot of research is that it was directly related to how many people noticed and how many people noticed that other people noticed too.
Yeah.
And bystander apathy is the idea that the more people who are in a surrounding area or who could potentially be responsible for something like this, the less individual responsibility each member of that group feels to do something about it. Which is why, if you've ever seen a person who is stranded on the side of a road, during, busy traffic,
right?
Nobody probably
stops.
It's very rare that somebody would pull over and check to see if everything is okay, right? Because there are a lot of cars on the road, and pretty much everyone assumes that, well, nobody is going to help. If if it's a highway, or if it's, there's nobody on the road and there's somebody, stuck, you're far more likely to actually stop and check.
Because you go, man, I am the person who can change the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bystander apathy. This is actually one of the reasons, growing up, I was in the Boy Scouts, and we went through a lot of emergency and first aid training as part of the program. And one of the things that they teach you in basic first aid and CPR and Heimlich maneuver and all these things is that you should always call for help, but the way to do it is not just to yell help, someone help me,
right,
at the top of your lungs, because particularly if it's crowded, because if you do it that way, no one will help you.
Yeah.
Everyone will assume that someone else is helping you. What you do is you actually look at someone, make eye contact, point, say, you call 911 or call the police, or you're giving an order to directly to one single person in the crowd, and that person 99 times out of 100 will do it. Whereas if you take the generalized approach, it's very likely that no one will do anything.
And it's not because no one cares. In these situations, they may feel like, well, who am I to do this? Who am I, to have any control over the situation?
Exactly. And so this, as dramatic as these examples are, people dying, this general principle applies to working with people in a business situation.
Yeah.
Take it back to the committee. If you're assigning a task that needs to be complete to a group of people, the larger that group of people, the less responsibility any individual in that group feels to actually get it done, which is why it doesn't get done.
Even when it's something really good. In my job at Mark's, a really awesome guy that we worked with, his name was Jonathan Shear. He cleaned gowns. He would take us out to dinner once a year. And I remember for the past 2 years, Mark sent us an email going, ladies, figure out a night. Jonathan wants to take us out to dinner.
Didn't happen.
No, even for something really good.
No.
It's just we're busy. We figured someone else would do it. I was even the manager. Why didn't I do it? I don't know. Yeah. I just figured.
Bystander apathy.
Sad but true.
This is one of the cardinal rules of project management and project planning. Any task that needs to be done is assigned to one person, specifically with a deadline, with a date. If it is not, chances are it will not get done.
Yeah.
And so bystander apathy, if you're managing a group of people and you're all trying to work together, anything that needs to be done, single owner, single date, very clear responsibility, and it's far more likely to actually get accomplished.